is Saturday, the 30th of August, and it is 4 o'clock afternoon UK time. For those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I use my free time to come here, both on YouTube and TikTok, to give some advice, some recommendations, some suggestions to anyone who would like to ask me anything about mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, psychology, human behavior, even spirituality, anything that has got to do with the mind. This is what I do. And so I'm going to be here maybe 1 or 2 hours, depending on whether there are people asking me questions or not. Okay? And the way that I always start my life are by reading and commenting on my own post. Hopefully, by the time I'm done, some people will have mustered the courage or found the inspiration to ask me some questions about themselves, and we can get the conversation rolling. Okay, so let's get started. The first post that I put out today on TikTok goes like this. True love is unconditional. People who needed conditions to love you didn't love you. They valued you based on your performance. And so this is a very important subject because we all have been raised by parents, teachers, in a way that is very punitive and conditional. So we can only be appreciated if we behave in a certain way, if we're good enough, if we make our parents proud, or anything like that. And the problem is that when we are being told that, we believe as a child that if I need to make my parents proud, it means that they're not proud of me the rest of the time, and I've got to do something to make this happen. And for children to feel safe and fully supported by their parents, they must have unconditional love. And by unconditional, it means they must be seen and heard and accepted and supported and valued for who they are without having to do anything about it, without having to prove anything. Otherwise, and this is sadly what most of us go through, just because of the way culture is designed and education. We function on a system of reward and punishment, and we basically believe that everything about our life is about external validation, and in the end, we end up feeling that we're not enough and always trying to fit in and to be accepted by people. When this could have been really, really easily fixed if our parents knew, and again, it's not their fault, they didn't know, and they raised us just the way they, but if they knew that true love is always unconditional. Any love that comes with a condition is not love. As said just before, it's people valuing us based on our performance. Next post. Letting someone hurt you will not heal them. So this is another very concise, short post of mine. And basically the idea behind this is that a lot of us, we believe that if we allow people to hurt us and abuse us, somehow it will help them get better. And if we look at that situation from our rational mind's perspective, it's very clear that it has nothing to do with that. We should not do this. But we just are driven emotionally. And we do things the way we've always done things because we are kind of addicted to feelings and emotions that feel familiar. And so if we've been raised up, if we've been brought up in a family where love was scarce or hurtful, then we'll believe that this is what love is to us. This is the kind of love that we deserve. That's the only kind of love that is available to us. And that creates dynamic that are very toxic for people who suffer from that. And not only to them, but also to the people we're going to be with. But that's another conversation. And the third post that I want to read up today goes like this. Not loving yourself doesn't impact your ability to love others. It impacts your ability to accept the love that others are trying to give you. So this is very important because a lot of people get it wrong. Some people believe that somehow, if you don't love yourself, then you can't love others. And it doesn't make any sense. I don't know where this came from. I think people just get all mixed up. We can absolutely love people And very often we do love people more than we love ourselves. Now, if we don't love ourselves, the problem is not that we can't love others. The problem is that we can't accept and allow and let in the love that others are trying to give us. If I don't love myself, I don't believe that I deserve that love. I will even reject it. And so people are trying to love me. I say, no, not for me. And it, of course, it's all happening at a subconscious level. But this is a problem that a lot of us suffer from, and it's got to be addressed. And so how it is. So I haven't got any comment yet, so, but please, guys, I see that there are some people there. Please ask me anything. I hope that you can hear me. I hope that it's not a technical problem, that you're not able to hear me. Please, guys, anyone that is watching, can you just write something to let me know that you can hear everything that I've said so far? Let me check the mic. There's no mic. The volume. And again, for those who don't know me, who are catching this randomly, I'm here to take questions and do my best to give you some advice, some recommendations, hopefully with practical application so that you can do something to upgrade any aspect of your life. I specialize in depression, anxiety, self-sabotage, addiction, but also anger issues, anger management, and anything to do with stress and trauma. But I'm more than happy to also talk about relationship, about low self-esteem, about procrastination, about imposter syndrome, about any of those things, anything that is holding people back always starts from here. And so there's nothing about our life that we can't upgrade and enhance from those places. Ah, we got something here. Duku, yep, the sound is good. Fantastic. Thank you, Duku. Nok and Nguyen. Mr. Didikan. Hello, Mr. Nok and Nguyen. What should I do to get out? I broke up 1 year ago, but in the beginning, I don't feel anything. I focus to work and swimming, but after 1 year, I feel so empty. It's like delayed emotion. Okay. I believe that you suffer from depression. It sounds like this, right? It's out of my scope to diagnose people, especially online, but just based on what you say and based on my experience, I believe that that breakup has triggered something in you that has gotten you to kind of give up on some of the things that you used to enjoy in the past. And this is one of the way we can define depression. So the question is, what should I do to get out? I think you mean to get out of that situation, right? Of that mental space. What I would say is, when we suffer from depression after a breakup, it's not the breakup. The breakup was only a trigger that started something that was already within us, waiting for this to happen. And so basically, we all go through ups and downs in life. Every single one of us, good days, good luck, bad luck, nice people, not so nice people, and so on and so forth. But the way we deal with those things are down to our belief system, our coping mechanism, our map of the world, and how we deal with things at a subconscious and emotional level. And this is all due to our upbringing and environment. So basically, everything that happens to us in childhood, we're going to create a system that is going to get us to operate through our lives, navigate through life, by triggering some chemicals in our body and our brain whenever things are happening. So we have some programs that are telling us, if I see that, if I hear that, if a situation arises, if I think about that, my body or my brain must create a chemical that makes me happy or fearful or stressed out or anything like that. And so what I'm trying to say is that the situation that triggered your depression is not the reason as to why you are depressed. It's because you have a belief before that happened that was just waiting for that sort of situation to arise to make this happen. So you want to address the belief, you want to address what is it about your perspective of the world and yourself in the world that has created for you to feel so maybe let down, helpless after that breakup. Now I'm just trying to give you an idea of what I think. Everything that I say just come out randomly. If you want something practical, I'd say do your best to rekindle with the things that used to make you happy before that breakup. Everything that I talked about is just trying to understand, to explain the mechanics of the mind. Some people may find this interesting, and if we work together in therapy, those are the sort of things that we talk about, so that the person can understand how they ended up like that, and we can address the root cause of a problem from a subconscious mind. But we're not doing this now. So there's something that you can do. You can do your best to remind yourself of all the things that you used to enjoy and bring those things back into your life. And so I need to know you a little bit more. What do you enjoy in life? There's a lot of things that we do out of habit. And so what it means is that if we have lost those habits, we can always recreate and restart them. Our life is no more nor less than a collection of habits. We have habits of thoughts, habits of emotions, feelings and sensations, and habits of actions, reactions, behavior. And all we need to do is to realize that we have developed some habits that don't work for us anymore. But because we can only do so many things at the same time, the brain is very economical. What it means is that whatever we have been doing up to this point, it's our normality, and our brain is going to make sure that we keep doing those things. But all we need to do is to realize that you can start a new habit, and over time, that will replace the old bad habit, just like that. So it's not easy and simple for everyone. It depends on how badly we've been traumatized or wounded as a child. But even without that, without thinking about the past, without trying to understand what happened, we can absolutely realize that our brain is plastic, is designed to adapt to everything that we're going through, whatever we think, whatever new habits we want to repeat and reinforce over time. And so maybe you want to think about creating a list of things that you would like to do every day that will help you reconnect with all the things that you have disconnected from. You may want to go out, exercise, move, reconnect with your body. You want to spend time in nature, reconnect with nature. You want to learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation, reconnect with yourself. You want to socialize, spend time with people that you enjoy, doing things that you enjoy doing as well. Do things that stimulate you positively, that makes you happy. And as you do that, you'll be reminded that there's a lot of things that you can do and think about that makes you feel good. And so essentially the reason why you are depressed after that breakup is because you keep on thinking about it. There's a part of you that is somehow thinking about what happened, and it's giving it a meaning that is hurting you. And that meaning is, I broke up, that person let me down because I am not enough, because I don't deserve love, because I never had love and I will never have love because I'm different, I'm cursed, I'm born like that, there's nothing I can do about it, or whatever that it may be. And this is the reason as to why we get depressed. Because something happened, and now we're going to interpret that event in a way that is going to make us feel terrible. It's going to remind us of some belief that we have about ourselves already. And then we're going to keep on thinking about it. What's wrong with me? Why did she? Is it a she or him? It doesn't matter. Why did they leave me? What could I have done differently for that person to stay with me? And we forget that when it comes to a relationship, relationships are not meant to last. It's a fallacy. Relationships are two people enjoying each other's, for whatever reason, there's an energy, there's an attraction, there's something that they enjoy, that they appreciate of each other, and they're going to spend a little time together, enjoying each other, and learning how to discover more about themselves as individuals through that relationship. But most relationships don't last. The vast majority of relationships don't last. They're there for us to grow, to explore the world, to explore ourselves with people, to learn about ourselves as well. If you have baggage, if you have any mental conditions, any, again, unhealed emotional wounds, relationships are going to be there to remind us of the things that we must work on, the baggage that we have still inside of us. And so relationships are not there to last. They're there to teach us how to grow and how to be better human beings. And eventually at some point, some of us may bump into someone that is on the same level as them in terms of self-discovery journey. And then these two people may actually spend a longer time together. And that's how we define a happy, long-lasting relationship. But even when people are doing this, they don't stay together forever, because at some point one of them will pass and leave and transition to the afterlife. And so we must accept that relationship were never meant to last. If only just that, that will make our life much easier. But because we believe not only that relationships are important, I must have them, they define me. If I don't have someone, it means that I'm not enough. And also, if someone breaks up with me, it means that I've ruined it. I'm a failure. And it's not like that. It's got nothing to do with anything. This is just belief, all belief that we carry from our parents, from previous generations. And we must really, really upgrade them because they don't help anyone. And so learn how to realize that relationships are just there for you to learn about yourself. And this is what it did. It taught you about yourself, and maybe it reminded you of some old wounds that you had, and maybe that's what you want to do with that now. You want to realize that, maybe I feel like that because maybe I didn't have so much love when I was a child, and I forgot that now I'm different. I'm a grown-up. I'm a person. I'm an adult. And so I can change. I can upgrade whichever aspect of my personality I want to upgrade. And I can absolutely choose to learn how to be happier so that I can invite people on the same wavelength and create happy, lasting relationship together. But in the meantime, as I said, maybe my first course of action, if you find it difficult to do anything, remind yourself of your power to feel good about yourself. Do things, rest, enjoy things, think things that make you happy, that elevate you, that stimulate you positively. And the more you do this, the more you'll be reminded of your power. And eventually you realize, okay, you know what? I'm ready to go out again on the scene and date and meet some more beautiful and wonderful people. Does it help at all? Knock? Lynn. Hello Lynn. Good afternoon, Didi. I finally got around to watching your live stream again. Hope you're well. Thank you so much. I didn't come last week because I was ill. I was unwell the whole of the last week. I'm still struggling with my health problems. But today, this week, I'm back into action and everything seems to be functioning well. So here I am, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up with the live streams on both TikTok and YouTube. But thank you for your support and for your comments, Lynn. Thank you. Nock, thank you so much. What if I take ashwagandha or vitamins to help me go through stress? You can do all sorts of things. I personally don't suggest any of those things because we forget that we are wonderful, powerful machines that are designed to go through everything. And so if you feel that you are stressed out, maybe taking vitamins or ashwagandha is not the best thing to do, because the reason why we get stressed out, the reason why we get overwhelmed, is not because we lack of something that comes to our side. It's because there's something about us that is preventing us from producing those chemicals. Our body and our brain create chemicals all the time. And if we have a problem, if we have a lack of it, it's because there's something about our lifestyle that is wonky, that is not working. And so instead of taking some extra stuff, we want to find out what it is about our lifestyle that we could upgrade and change so that we can give a chance to our body and our brain to create all those chemicals that we need in order to thrive in life. That'd be my personal recommendation. I believe in everything, anything holistic. And again, for those who don't know me, I used to be addicted to class A drugs and alcohol and a lot of things for 38 years. So my relationship with drugs is not so great. I'd rather always avoid it as much as I can. There are exceptions, of course. If I'm in agony, I will take whatever I need to take. And some people do very well with their drugs, but are very useful to some individual. But generally speaking, we live in a culture when we believe that if something is wrong, all we need to do is to find the magic pill, is to buy the magic things, is to do the magic diet or whatever to change our life. And it's not like that. Anything that we are going through is always the result of many things. Nothing is only because of one thing. And so if we can understand ourselves better and zoom out, and then we can have a better idea of what to do about our health, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical. And we can absolutely upgrade our lifestyle in a way that we optimize our natural resources. Our body, our mind are fantastic machines with so much power and potential, and we just are being told to to take some pills instead of exploring our potential. Duku, I have BPD. How do I find the split triggers in my relationship so that I can manage my splits? It feels like everything is a trigger while in the split itself. Yes. So basically, when you split, you are not in a position to change anything at all. I have BPD myself. And I have helped many people with BPD over the years, especially in the last few years with a lot of success. So I really understand it from any perspective. And so when we split, in that moment, we are being hijacked by emotional mind. And in that moment, there's nothing we can do. We cannot reason. We cannot respond instead of reacting. We cannot do any of the things that people assume we should be doing. Because in this moment, we are all over the place. We are back into the position we were when we were a child. We are freaking out, we are helpless, we are clueless, and everything needs to be addressed ASAP. Survival mode. So that's why black or white, splitting. We don't have the luxury to think, oh, okay, so what is happening? Let's remember the that person's personality and our history. In that moment, it's very simple. It's survival. So it's who's good, who's bad, who's nice, who's dangerous, who must I love and adore, or who must I hate and destroy. And so what we want to realize is that whenever you are going through those moments, in the moment, there's nothing you can do other than walking away, leaving that state, leaving that place. Stand up, walk, go outside for a walk. Stop it, because if you stay in the moment, in the place, and you keep thinking, it's going to get worse. With BPD, it's all about thinking things to make things worse. Why did he do that? Why did she say that? What happened? And very quickly, just like that, we go from 0 to 100, and everything is drama. And so when we work with BPD, we can work before or after those events. When it happens, there's nothing we can do, except trying to break our physical state, as in the state of BPD, right? And we do this by putting some cold water on our face, by going outside for a walk, for a run, by doing 50 burpees, doing something physical, let go of energy, change state, physical space. And then, once you are maybe outside going for a walk, what you can do is do some breathing exercise to reset your nervous system. In that moment, you are in a state of survival, fight, flight, freeze. And so you're not able to be rational. Everything is about emotions. Emotions are very quick, very powerful, and they're there to protect us when there's no brain involved. It's old systems that have always been protecting us, looking after us for thousands and thousands and zillions of years. I'm not sure about the numbers, but what we need to do is to realize that we are in a state that is emotional, and we want to come back from the emotional state to a rational state. And so, number one, get out of the space, get out of the argument, go for a walk, do some breathing, do any mindfulness exercise that you may know, do some somatic movement exercises to let go of the stress, the tension, that state. And eventually, when you are back into a place of mental clarity and calm, then you can start to address your thoughts. Why did that happen? Why did I react like that? What is the belief that I have about the situation? What did I experience? And so when we have BPD, and it's not just BPD, anyone who has any type of mental conditions, emotional wounds, that is affecting the way we feel emotions, is to do with all those problems are to do with the fact that our brain is interpreting reality in a different way. We're always on a constant state of hypervigilance, like if we've suffered from trauma, and so we're going to interpret reality in a different way. We're going to be more paranoid. We're going to be more reactive. We're going to be offended very quickly, and it's all happening at a subconscious level. So emotions. And so I lost the plot. It happens, ADHD. But essentially, what I'm trying to say, I think what I can remember is that we go into emotional state and we need to come back to a place of mental clarity. I know. And then when we're into that place of mental clarity, we want to challenge what we have experienced. So what happened? Maybe he or she said something and I reacted to that. Why? Because I believe that if she says that, that means that. And now I'm going to have to do something about it. And what we want to do is to expand our mind and realize that it doesn't mean necessarily that. Anything can mean many different things. And so let's think about that. Let's say, for instance, if someone says no to me, with BPD, I'm going to take it personally. I'm going to be hurt. And I'm going to give the meaning that if someone says no to me, it means that I'm not good enough. It means that I'm not worthy of love, of acceptance, of anyone's time, and I'm going to be abandoned and I'm going to suffer on my own forever, as it has always happened. And I need to react, I need to do something about it so that it doesn't happen. But we can change the meaning of that. We can think, maybe it doesn't mean just that. Let's try to see it from a different angle. Maybe someone saying no to me just means no. It only means that they don't want to do something, they don't think that I'm the best person to do that thing. It's okay. It doesn't say anything about me as a person. So this is how we change and challenge our belief. But we can only do this before and after the events. When the events occur, there's nothing we can do. Anyone who says you should respond instead of reacting, they understand nothing about the mind and our emotional reactions. Reactions are always emotional. Responding is the result of us having worked before and after over a long period of time. So now we have created a space between us and the reactions by virtue of working on it. But if you don't work on it, it's not going to happen like that. It's not possible. And so we want to stop feeling ashamed and guilty and bad. We want to stop blaming ourselves, because with BPD and with anything else anyway, it's never our fault. No one does anything on purpose. We just do whatever we can based on our emotional setup, based on the belief we have, based on our emotional triggers, our emotional blocks, anything that we have created because of our upbringing and our environment and whatever happened to us up to this point. And so we need to stop shaming people and self-shaming. With BPD, one of the worst things we can do is to think that it's all because of us. There's something wrong with us. Why is it always happening? Why do I always do this? Why do I keep on doing this again and again? I should know better. What's wrong with me? I hate it. Because in those moments, we are not ourselves. We are back into that state of survival. I must react. I must protect. I am the clueless and scared child that doesn't know how to deal with that situation in any other way but with anger or overreacting or anything like that. Or try to lie, manipulating, or try to hurt. So that's it. So I hope it helps. Du coup, what I'm trying to say is that we don't address the split. We address the belief. We address the root cause of your problems. We address the triggers, the reasons as to why you split. If you need more, ask me more about this. I hope that just that already maybe helped a little bit. Lynn, I did think you sounded unwell on one of your recent shorts. Glad you're on demand again. I always seem to find your short just when I need them. It's like you're a fly on my wall, Lord. Okay. It's synchronicity, isn't it? I believe that. I believe in synchronicity. I believe that things happen when they're meant to happen. And when things don't happen, it's because they're not meant to happen, and it's okay. But thank you, Lynn. And I hope that you are well. Juan Calaburno. Hello, Didi. Hey, all in chat. Waving hand emoji. I am new to your channel and wanted to say thank you. DBT has helped me a little. I hope others can get help too. Thank you so much for the kind and complimentary words, Caliburno. So DBT is the idea that more than one truth can coexist at the same time. More than one opposite truth can exist at the same time. And so typically people with BPD, they discover DBT. dialectical behavioral therapy to understand that it's not just black or white. There's a lot of things that can happen and explain the same situation, even though there may be notions that someone with BPD cannot accept, would go with something else, opposite. So the example is, he hurt me. That's the truth. But he also loves me. So now we can realize it's not either he or she loves me and they're amazing, they're the best thing on this planet, or they have hurt me and they're the worst thing. They must be obliterated. I must destroy them. We can realize that some people can hurt us and yet love us and come from a good place. So now we're starting to expand our perspective from a black and white to more dimensions, as opposed to just right or wrong, true or false, good or bad, black or white. And it's very interesting because DBT is a protocol that everyone and anyone could really benefit from. If you look at people in the street, people in our entourage, people on social media, the reason why people suffer is because everyone thinks in black and white. It's either this or that, that's it. And people conflict each other because they believe that if you don't agree with me, it means that you disagree with me. And it's endless. We can see it everywhere. And all we need to do is to realize, this is how I feel about it, this is how they feel about it, and it's okay. I don't need to prove everyone wrong, to have the last word, to fight everyone, because we all have different perspective. We all have a different reality. This is one of the most puzzling and most difficult concepts for so many of us to accept, is that there's no such thing as one universal, fixed and unique reality and truth. There's only what we experience in this moment based on our filters, lenses, belief, experience, trauma, wounds. And what it means is that every single person on this planet are living their own reality in their bubble. There's not a single person that shares the exact same reality as anyone, and that changes each moment. Kelly Bruno, please like the stream. Oh, thank you for motivating people to liking my stream. One Kelly Bruno, it's not us that shame the certain diagnosis. The services treat people according to their diagnosis. Sometimes the diagnosis is not always correct. So again, DBT. It's not us, it is us, and it is them, and it is society, and it is culture, and it is religion, and it is everything. Right? It's not this or that, it is everything. So where does it start? The egg or the chicken? Well, it doesn't really matter. But essentially, what we need to realize is that as we grow up, we have belief about ourselves that is all to do with shame. Shame, guilt, it's my fault, judgment, self-blame. And if it's not my fault, it's their fault. It's got to be someone's fault. We need to blame someone to make sense of this world. We need to have a system to have an illusion of control about this world. And so religions typically have created shame, guilt, blame, division, scapegoating. And whether we're religious or not, society is structured on religious dogmas. And so anyone who lives in a Western society would learn about shame and not enough, and fear. There's a division, there's us and the others. There's the righteous and the sinners. There's the good people and the bad people. And so there's that, first, the belief, but also there is indeed also society. There's a culture that doesn't understand much yet about mental health. It's getting better and better. But what we understand about mental health has only been really good in the last 20 years. Before that, pretty much everything was just rubbish. People making things up, and a lot of terrible things have been done and perpetrated in the name of science, and it was wrong. And now we're starting to understand more, and be able to have some systems that can help people. But when it comes to shame, it's true that the system is broken, society is broken, the way people are being taught at school, education system is broken, capitalist system is broken, but also our belief, which are based on religions, are also broken. All of those things are making it very difficult for us to be happy and balanced and zen and mindful and enjoy life with other people on this planet. I hope it makes sense. Kelly Bonner. Duku, I understand my split isn't really valid in the objective sense, but I started devaluing my boyfriend and I want to break up. It's not just a moment, it lingers. How do I manage devaluating? Okay, you manage devaluating by changing your thoughts. So it's going to be tricky. First thing first, again, like as I said, you need to come out from the emotional state to a state of mental clarity. So for this to happen, you can practice mindful breathing. There's a lot of different systems out there. The most popular one, the most famous ones are box breathing or square breathing. Check it out on Google. The other one is 478 plus. So you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold it for the count of 7, and you breathe out for the count of 8 or more. And basically when you do those breathing techniques, or you can try others, there's other ones, I think there's one called cycle-sighing and so forth and so on. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you want to breathe in, you want to breathe out for longer than you breathe in, so that you can literally reset your nervous system and go from a survival emotional mode to a logical, rational, conscious mode, as opposed to subconscious, emotional. And then when you are into that state, as we've done before, then challenge your belief, challenge your thought. Why am I so angry? Because I'm thinking that, so you say, my boyfriend did that to me, so my boyfriend is an a-hole. So now challenge your thought. Ask yourself, that thought that I'm having, let's try to be objective. Now that I'm back into a place of mental clarity, now that I'm calmed down, that thought, is it true? Is it useful? Is it kind? So first, is it true as in, can I demonstrate it with mathematics? Is it objective? Do I have everything that tells me that it's true? So let's say my boyfriend is an a-hole and he never loved me and he will never love me. Is it true? No, it's not true. Because you remember that there was some good time you spent together, or some time he was listening to you, he was kind to you. And so he's not always like that. It's just that in that moment you forgot about a good moment. So is it true? No, it's not true. Next, is it useful? Is it useful for me to think that thought, to entertain that thought about him and us? No, it's not. Because it's making things worse. It's making me angry and it's damaging the relationship. Finally, is it kind? Definitely not to either of you. And so try this. Is it true? Is it kind? No. Is it true? Is it useful or necessary? Is it kind? And if you are in a place of mental clarity, you will be able to realize no. So now let's give it another meaning. Remind yourself, you know what? In that moment, I've been caught again in my old self, overacting, exaggerating everything. And now I want to remind myself that my boyfriend is someone that I enjoy spending time with. And there's a lot of qualities about him. And now I want to see him not through the eyes of BPD, not through the eyes of the child that is hurt and scared. I want to look at my boyfriend through the eyes of someone who loves him, of someone who has chosen to be with him, as someone who wants to create something with him, relationship, memories, who wants to maybe heal together. And so try this. Duku. And do ask me if it's not clear or if you have any more questions. Duku. Also, I feel like telling him I am in a devaluating phase, but I'm scared this is abusive. You want to find out when you are in a state where you can speak to him. If you are, again, full of stress and high on being reactive, it's not going to happen. No matter what you say, we come across as abuse anyway. And so you want to, again, do the breathing, come back to a place of mental clarity, have an ice bath. There's a lot of things you can do to reset your nervous system, but this is what we do, essentially. I want to realize that when you are in that state, there's nothing that you can do or say that will be positive. So you need to come out of that state. You need to regulate your nervous system. You need to come back to a place of, now I can see clearly and I'm at peace. There's a lot of grounding techniques that you can learn about it and try if it works for you. A very simple one is name out loud 5 things that you can see. Name out loud 4 things that you can hear. Take your time. Touch 3 different textures and name them out loud. Smell 2 different smells. And then take a deep breath in, and let it out. And then look around you. Am I safe? Is everything fine? Yes, everything is good. Now you know that you have come back to that place of mental clarity and peace. And that's when you can talk. That's when you can have a conversation with your boyfriend and tell him, you know what? I want you to know that every time that I go berserk, I don't mean that. Even if I think about it, I'm learning how to be a better person. It's not my fault. I've been traumatized in childhood. That's why I've got this. I never chose that. And I know that you see this, and that's why you're with me. And so please forgive me, and I do my best to work on myself, and I need you to help me as well. So your boyfriend can help you. For your boyfriend to help you, he needs to understand your condition. The reason as to why all relationships have problems is because in the relationship, we all assume how the other person should be behaving. We think that because I think like that, they should think like that. Because I feel like that, they should feel like that. Because I behave like that, they should treat me the way I treat them. Otherwise, there's something wrong about them. We project, we assume. And that is a problem in itself. Now, with BPD, it's worse. With anyone who is autistic, who has ADHD, who's got bipolar, anyone with any condition, it's worse because we don't behave the way neurotypical people do. And I include also PTSD, CPTSD. We react and we find it difficult to regulate our emotions, and it's due to no fault of our own. And so people must know this about ourselves. We don't mean it. It's not our fault. We actually hate it, but there's nothing we can do about it. But again, because we have been raised in a culture and religions that teach us that people do things on purpose. They're not trying hard enough. They're being lazy. They're being stupid. They're being selfish. They're being weak. And we are never choosing that. Whatever that we display is always the result of whatever we can do in this moment based on our setup. That is the result of a childhood that we have never chosen. And so make sure that your boyfriend understands your BPD and knows that you will be difficult to deal with every now and then. And the only one thing that he can do is to take a step back, as opposed to trying to reason you, because whatever he says may get you worse. It takes a lot of experience to understand. BPD is a very, very difficult relationship to have with. And I know that because I have BPD. And I ruined every single one of my relationship, except for the one that I'm in now. I've been with my husband for 20 years now. He's only one. He's been through hell at the beginning of a relationship, like an awful lot. But somehow we made it work. We were both ready for this to happen, and we have been healing each other together, and things are marvelous between us. But before that, I have ruined and destroyed every single one of my relationship, even though I had some amazing people. I had some people who were beautiful, kind, who wanted good things for me, but I just ruined it because I was still dealing with my BPD. And so, yeah. What do you say, Duku? Kelly Bruno, thank you for doing a live stream, Didi. It's my pleasure. I hope all in chat can find themselves and peace within. Thank you. Lynn, yes, I believe in synchronicity too. I used to feel exactly like you just described, that things didn't work out because I wasn't worthy enough, etc. But I learned that everything happens for a reason. Yes, everything happens for a reason, and we just get angry because we don't know the reason, or because we don't want to accept that reason. But all the things that happen to us are there to teach us how to be better human beings. So even the worst thing that happened to us, they're precisely there in our path, so that we can have a human experience and grow from those obstacles and adversities. Caliburno, Didi, not putting blame on one thing, many variables which make each case different. Yet we are categorized and treatment is too general here in the UK. Yes, I agree with that. So this is not just the UK, all over the world. And it's to do with, again, society just starting to learn about mental health, but also money. The big pharmaceutical companies, they control a lot of things. They want to sell their pills, and so they don't care about people's well-being, really. So there's that as well. Yeah. But what we can do is to learn how to understand ourselves, our minds better, so that we can ask the right people how we can sort out our problems. There are more and more protocols out there that can be really, really helpful, but sadly, they're not covered by the NHS in the UK or whatever in other countries. And so we have to do it ourselves. But there are systems that work. For instance, I am an RTT therapist, and the protocol that I use is very, very powerful and very efficient to transform people that suffer from trauma or anything to do with emotional dysregulation, anxiety, addiction, depression, and those things. Calibono agreed. Lynn, thumbs up. All is meant to be. Yes. Calibono, Didi, do you have a lot of experience in UK NHS? I've been living in the UK for 28 years, so I have the experience from someone who's using it, right? But when it comes to mental health, I don't. I don't, I'm afraid. I know that there are a lot of waiting lists. I'm on waiting list as well to be diagnosed with whatever conditions that you may believe you have. It takes forever because the NHS is saturated. It's overwhelmed. Again, there's not enough money put into the NHS to help everyone. So because of that, that makes things even more complicated. But yes, I wouldn't be able to recommend you much when it comes to the NHS. What I could say is, if you are not diagnosed officially yet and you believe that you may have something, just 1 second, please. My watch is telling me that I should put my second TikTok post of the day now. So I'm going to do it now because I have ADHD. And if I don't do it right away, I will forget. And I will never do it. Someone hurt you. Just 1 sec, please. Will not. Okay. Oops, sorry about this. It's out. Okay, now let's forget about TikTok. Let's go back to YouTube. So yes, thank you for the little heart and the laughing faces emojis. Do you have a lot of experience in the UK NHS? The experience that I have is that they are overwhelmed. My husband went for an autism diagnosis, and the system that they used are very archaic, very old, passé, and it's just ridiculous. And they should really upgrade it. And so if you can afford going private, go private. If not, go holistic. There are many different ways we can look after ourselves and heal, nowadays more than ever. Everything is on the internet. We can learn about those things. We can read books. And you can come to my live and ask me, and I will do my best to redirect any of you in the best way that I know I should redirect you. Karibono, Duku is self-aware and noticed the behavior is not kind. How wonderful. Well done. Okay. Karibono, what state of mind are you in when feeling like that, Duku? Noticing and catching yourself is a fantastic skill. It is hard work that you are clearly demonstrating, so don't be so hard on yourself. So it's very kind of you, what you're saying, Calibono. But when we have BPD, in the moment, we don't have self-awareness. It is not possible. Zero self-awareness. It's like when we are, I don't know, high or drunk to a very high degree. We're just behaving emotionally, or reacting to things around us, and there's not an ounce of brain involved. And so the clarity comes after things happen, right? But it's very important to highlight this. I can't highlight this enough, especially with BPD. But thank you for the support and the kind words, Caliban, all this time. I understand where you're coming from, and it is appreciated. But I just want to make sure that people don't assume that some people can do this more than others, and those people must be applauded. Because it's not like that. It's like when people say to some people who are depressed and try to unalive themselves and say, you're a survivor, you are strong, congratulations, because you're still alive. And I don't want to accept this, because this would imply that all the people who didn't make it, they were weak, and there's something wrong about them. And this is not like that. We all do exactly, precisely our best all the time, what we can based on what we've been through. And so, again, I appreciate your kind words, Calibono. Just that from my perspective, I need to highlight those things. That's it. Right? But thank you. Calibono, Didi speaks fact. Thank you very much. With this and that emoji. Terry Gaki, hi there. How do I detach from my job? I feel my mood or happiness is dependent on my job. If my boss or colleagues comment good things, I feel relieved. But if it is otherwise, I feel sad and depressed. I understand. So your job is everything to you, and you are realizing this. So you want to change that belief. It's a belief. Somewhere along the line, you have associated your worth with your job. Maybe with the things that you do, maybe with your productivity, maybe with the fact that you are demonstrating some things or being useful in a society, in a company. And so you want to, how can we explore this? Realize that you are not that. You are many things, and you can be anything that you want. And what you want to do really is to learn how to detach yourself from that habit that we all have been conditioned to have. And it's a system of reward or punishment. It's the carrot or the stick. Because of that, we're going to attach our sense of worth to how we project ourselves, how people see us, what we do, what we display. Am I successful? Am I doing well? Am I working hard? Any of those things and more. And I want you to maybe practice mindfulness, practice meditation, learn about those things, and tap into your inner self. Instead of looking outside, external rewards, again, stick or carrot, seek inside and feel what are your internal rewards. What does that mean? What does your intuition tell you? How do you feel in your body? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel at peace? You are caught into some sort of momentum with your life, with your job, with your thoughts, with your belief. And maybe all you need to do is to slow down and stop being taken away by that momentum and just look inward. So through meditation and mindfulness, think, okay, now I need to think about myself. I need to listen to some music, maybe some sound with some birds singing, nature sound. I'm going to spend some time doing this every day. And I'm going to stop thinking about them. Stop thinking about the others, about my boss, about my family, about my spouse, about my family. Not think about people and what you should be doing to them. Think about you. How do you feel? And you may tap into some things. You know what? I used to enjoy this when I was a child. I can try again. I used to enjoy that and do things that make you feel good. And you'll be reminded, you know what? I can enjoy myself. I can appreciate life. I can find joy in those things. I am not just that. I'm not just a productivity machine for a capitalist system or for my family who depends on me to provide. You can do this, but you can also realize that you are so much more than just that. So the first step to detach yourself from your job is to slow down and do some work and look inward. Stop looking at yourself from their perspective and what they expect from you. And try to find out things that are to do with you, things that you enjoy, and you realize I can be happy and find peace in this moment with things that have got nothing to do with punishment or reward. And that's how over time, maybe that could help you, right? Again, there's a lot of different ways we can do it. I'm here telling you what comes in my mind based on those words. If we worked together, as a therapist, I have different tools that I can use that are much, much more potent and much more precise. But just based on the general questions, few words, this is what I'm saying. If you want to give me more details, if any one of you guys want to give me more details about your situations, I do my best to be more specific to every one of you. Okay, but just based on the few words shared here, this is what I'd say. Pink Ocean View. Wow. Okay. Caliburno, please like the stream on your way in. Thank you, Caliburno. Yes. Duku, thanks, Didi. That feels right and makes sense. Fantastic. Thank you. I'll keep it to myself for now. It won't be helpful. He already respects my space. Okay. Okay. But you can always talk explore, understand more about each other. Doku, and we'll practice mindfulness and 478. Fantastic, fantastic. Google it so that you can do it properly. There are ways to do it properly and ways that are not so great. So you need to learn precisely how to do those things. But Google it. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, on the internet, everywhere. I could show you, but I'm sure that you can find it yourself anyway. Sanko, hey, do you give online therapy sessions? Yes, I do. I am a therapist, and this is what I do for a living. I come here on my free time to give some advice for free because I can. But I do work online. I don't have a physical office anymore. Everything is online, and I am essentially a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist. Those are the tools that I use. Address the subconscious mind. We hypnotize the subject so that we can go back into the moments of the past where we have created those limiting beliefs that are creating all the problems in their life now. But a part of my work is to understand people from a psychological perspective, and so this is the sort of things that I talk about here. Calibono, yes, Didi, sometimes the self-hatred is so debilitating. Sorry for spamming chat. You're not spamming anything. You're helping me out. Thank you. It's appreciated. Thank you. Calibono, blessings, Didi. Thank you. Left-handed trigger. Thank you for all the advice. Thank you so much. Camila, thank you as well. Duku, at Kel, it's difficult to ignore the devaluation and it stings. Maybe I didn't understand devaluation. Did I? Please correct me if I didn't. Kelly Bruno, I'm sorry, Duku, you are doing a great job but trying to improve. It's not easy to change the well-established brain path. Please keep going. Yes, I agree. Thank you. Kelly Bruno, I went through a right to choose. Okay. A right to choose for diagnosis of ADHD, and I'm still on the waiting list for ADHD NHS. Yes, it does take forever. I've been told about the right to choose thing, and it's meant to be very quick. And some people have been very lucky with that. But I believe that unless you're lucky, it will take some time. And even when you get there, I'm not sure about the accuracy of the systems that we're using now to assess it. And also, there's a lot of politics behind it. A lot of people in the government who believe that mental health is not a real thing, sort of things. So that's another layer of complication. But we can be hopeful and optimistic and believe that things are still going in the better direction. There are a lot of alternative ways also to learn how to look after ourselves and understand more about ourselves, but are not to do with the NHS. Canebono, now medicated. Thumbs up. And okay, so you're having your medications and you're happy with that? Calibono, try right to choose. Yes, I've been told that already as well. But again, I have ADHD, so I forget. but I had an email, I think 2 days ago from the NHS telling me that I'm finally on the list. So I need to wait now another whatever time, few years before I get to the top of the list. But I'm finally on the list after whatever time that I have applied to be on the list. To be honest with you, I don't really need it to know that I have it. Again, I'm a therapist and I'm in my 50s. I know myself. I spend a lot of time thinking about things all the time. And to me, it's really, really clear. Everything is there. Bipolar, borderline, ADHD, CPTSD. But I would like to try just to go through the assessment and see what they do to me and see how it goes anyway. I think that I should be doing this. It's the right thing to do. Camila, that's also why you should forgive yourself, because we are always doing our best with the tools and knowledge we have at that moment. The key is choosing growth. Yes, we should do our best. It's a process. Not everyone can forgive themselves just like that. If we have been used to feel shame, it's a process. But it's true, but at some point we won't find a way to realize that shame and guilt and self-blame, they're just illusions that people have created, and it doesn't help anyone. And we must let go of them. But I agree with you, it's a process, and we must find a way to let go of shame indeed. Self-compassion, self-forgiveness, very, very important. And choosing growth is the same thing. Growth is not something that we really choose. It's something that we are ready to choose, right? In order to grow, we must first heal, because we have two states. We can be on a survival mode or on a creation mode. When we grow, it means that we are in a creation mode. We can grow. But if we are surviving, we cannot grow, because we need to survive. And so it can be surviving because of our environment or because of our mental state. And we believe that we have to survive, even though there's nothing really to survive from outsiders' perspective. But I also agree with you. I understand. I just want to make sure that people get that, again, we do what we can. And so we want to grow, we want to realize that there's something such as growth, as opposed to having a fixed mindset and victim mindset. But no one chooses a victim mindset. We are being given a victim mindset by our culture, our parents, our society, our community. And then we need to learn how to eventually heal so that we can see more clearer, and then learn and develop the growth mindset and grow. I think that's how I would phrase all of those ideas together. But thank you for the input, Camilla. Kelly Bruno, I apologize if I came across like you can actually help the way you react. I know it cannot be helped at the time. Sorry if I offended. Don't be sorry. Thank you for being humble, and I appreciate your input always. I just say this because it's difficult to read words. Sometimes words can carry different things. So I just want to make sure that people who are watching my channel understand the depth of my reasoning, where I come from. And where I come from is empathy and compassion. It's radical empathy, radical compassion. It's really, really something that is so important to me, because I believe that this is not only something that I know so well from my own experience, but also it's something that would change the shape of the world altogether. If we can get rid of shame, of blame, of us versus the others, and realize that we're all the same. No one does anything on purpose. No one is a criminal on purpose. No one ends up sociopath or narcissist on purpose. We're just whichever we are because of X, Y, Z. And so it doesn't mean that we don't want to address certain behavior and people. But if we can understand, we don't need to judge. We can get rid of shame. We can get rid of blame. We can understand. We can reconnect. And this is what I'm trying to spread here. Terigaki, have a good day, Didi Khan. Call me Didi, please. Didi Khan is my full name. Didi is the first name, Khan is the last name. Please, Terry. See, I'm not calling you Terigaki. I know you come from a good place. Thank you. Pink Ocean View. That sounds terrifying, going back to the moment of trauma. It can sound terrifying. It doesn't have to be terrifying. It depends. There's a process. It depends who is going to help you with that. It can be terrifying if the person doesn't know what they do. But there are ways around it. And also, we want to realize that when we go back into the moment of trauma, we're never going back into the moment of trauma. We cannot go back into the past. The past is not a place that we can revisit. The trauma is not a place. Trauma is how an event that was overwhelming, or a series of events over a long period of time that eventually overwhelmed us, have changed how we function. Trauma is how our nervous system, how our mind has adapted to that overwhelm and is now constantly on a state of hypervigilance and paranoia. And so we don't go back into that place. We're going to review it. So the way that I explain it, and many of my colleagues say that as well, is that we never go back into the trauma. We're never going to relive that moment. We're going to review it. It's like watching a movie on television. We're watching it from the outside, and we have a remote. At any time, we can put the volume down, we can pause, we can step out, or we can even avoid it. If it's too hard, we don't have to go there. There are many ways around. The mind is very deep and intricate, and there's so many different ways to address things. And so, but I understand what you're saying. Some people who are unexperienced may actually make things worse if they don't realize or the subtlety that there is about dealing with people who have been traumatized. Because the trauma is not the event. The trauma is how we have experienced that event. So it's the filter, it's the meaning that we give that event. And this is what we change with RTT, with hypnotherapy. Not hypnotherapy, RTT. We change the meaning of that event so that it can be replayed in the future without emotional intensity. Our body doesn't need to react the way it does anymore because we understand that this was something that happened and it's not going to happen again. And even if it was to happen again, now we are grown up, we can deal with the situation. We don't need the fear anymore. We don't need the overthinking, the anxiety. We don't need the panic attacks anymore. All of the systems that are creating problems in our life, we have created them to protect ourselves from whatever happened to us then. But if we can realize that now we're not the same, now, whatever happened to me, if anyone comes to me, I deal with them. And so I don't need to have the anxiety anymore. I don't need to have the hypervigilance anymore. I don't need to have anything that my body is reacting to, even in terms of physical health. Digestion, skins, pain, fatigue, whatever, headache. All of those things are further complications, adaptations of our body from systems that we have created, but we have not upgraded. Stress. The reason why so many of us get so easily stressed out. It doesn't have to be. We can absolutely work on this and no longer get stressed out by anything or anyone. It's absolutely possible. Big ocean. I don't even think that hypnosis would work on me. It does work on everyone. So it's legit that you think like that. I used to think like that as well. But we all get hypnotized. Why? Because we do this to ourselves all the time. Hypnosis is not what we see in Hollywood or in television. It's not stage or entertainment hypnosis. We're doing hypnotherapy. It's different. And so people are not going to end up in a state of trance, walking around like chickens and forgetting all about it. It's not like that. This is entertainment. Hypnosis is no more or less than getting someone into a place that is so relaxed that the brain waves are going to be different. And we're going to be able to go back into some memories of the past that have been repressed or forgotten. So the brain has different waves, alpha, omega, beta. And what we want to do is to go into the state called theta waves mode. And if we can't, at least we can go in alpha. And it's still a way to do this. And so basically, some people go into a deep state of trance. Some people don't. I don't. Because of my own trauma, I'm super defensive and I can't never go into that trance. But it doesn't matter because I'm still relaxed enough so that the person who's looking after me can take me in different places and we can do our work together. I'm aware when I'm hypnotized that I'm through a session with my colleague and I know that at any time I can open my eyes, but I'm still relaxed enough to be able to tap into those old memories from the past and change the meaning of them. And so the reason I know that you will be hypnotized like anyone else is because we do this to ourselves all the time. We self-hypnotize every day, every morning, from the moment we wake up, we're like, who am I? I'm Didi Khan. What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I believe is available to me? What do I believe is not available to me? What is my personality? In one split second, like in the Matrix, now this is back. And now we're going to start the day being self and repeating the same things that we repeat every day. We're going to do the same things at the same time, with the same people, in the same way. We're going to think the same thoughts. We're going to feel the same feelings. We're going to react the same way, in the same way, like this. It's the program. Because we have hypnotized ourselves into reminding ourselves that this is me and this is what my day is going to be like. And also, critical, the inner critic, when we are telling ourselves that we're not enough, that we're not worthy, when we're being unkind to ourselves, we are self-hypnotizing. I'm not enough, I'm rubbish, I'm never going to succeed. I might as well procrastinate because it's too hard. I might as well not even get started with that project. I can't talk to that person that I fancy because I'm going to be rejected. I always get rejected. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not funny enough, or whatever that we may think about ourselves. We say this to ourselves. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I'm not capable. I don't deserve the good things in life. And because of that, we are self-hypnotizing into believing that we feel like that, and just like that, bang, we're going through the day, being hypnotized to react through the day based on that program. And so, yeah. And we also hypnotize one another, but this is a whole different conversation. Sanko, can you also diagnose mental problems? I'm dealing with something that is vague to me. I don't diagnose. I'm not a psychotherapist. What I do, I understand the human mind because it's part of my job. But I use tools of RTT and hypnotherapy to address things from the subconscious mind, and also I utilize tools of mindfulness and mindset to see things from a different perspective, to learn how to have a better relationship with emotions and feelings, to learn how to deal with stress and adversity and overwhelm. All of those things are techniques that we can use. But the first thing that we do is to address the subconscious emotional mind. And then after that, we address the cognitive mind. It has to start in that order, because everything that we think is limited by how we feel about anything at all. And so we must first address how we feel. And then, once we've done that, we have created a bridge in the emotional mind, and we can change things happening here at that level. Hope it makes sense. But I don't need to diagnose people. I can have a hint of whether someone may be ADHD or on the autism spectrum. And based on that, without an official diagnosis, I would have enough information to know how to help someone go through the healing journey that is appropriate to their conditions. Thank you for the heart. Duku, I am noticing talk therapy doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for most people. Talking therapy is just understanding what happens, and it can be very important to some people, and it can be also very comforting. Someone is listening to me, if it's the right therapist, because some therapists are not very good or kind. But talking therapy doesn't solve most problems. And the reason behind this, because most problems don't live here, they live there. Most of our problems are subconscious and emotional. And so we can talk for decades and nothing will change, because the problem is here. It's not what we think, it's how we feel. If anything, a lot of people suffer and have problems because they try to overthink and over-intellectualize and over-analyze everything. And the more they do this, the further they get from the origin of the problem, which is emotions. Emotional triggers, emotional blocks, emotional subconscious belief. All of these things are happening there. 95% of the mind is subconscious and emotional. That's our body. Only 5% is cognitive and conscious. That's why we really want to work there first. So Duku, I'm noticing talk therapy doesn't work for me. I also have ADHD and autism diagnosed. Okay. Have you ever heard of EFT? Yes. Yes, tapping. Do you think it works, or should I stick to more classical therapy? Try different things and see what works for you. When it comes to therapy, it's not like buying a thing. I don't know, dishwasher, toaster, or some potatoes. It's not a thing. You can't compare it with other things. It's what will work for you. There's not one system in the world that works for everyone. It doesn't exist. There's, however, at least one system that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. It's for you to find out what it is. And so you want to go on your journey of self-discovery and healing and read up and ask people and talk to people and find out what works for them and see if it talks to you. And then you want to speak to the therapist and find out if you can connect with them at an emotional level, at a human level. If you can, do that. If you believe that they have a tool that makes sense to you, and if you have a track record, and if you feel that they're doing it for the right reason and they know what they do, now you have all the chances to heal when you have all of those conditions together. But whether EFT or EMDR or anything works or not, it depends. Everyone is different. And so try. A lot of my colleagues do that, and it can be very helpful to a lot of people. And some people have found out that it doesn't make any difference. And so it depends. Kelly Bruno, I agree, Duku, regarding talking therapy, not for me. Yeah. I had talking therapy myself for a long time when I was in France, when I was younger, and it's just a waste of time. And I didn't like them. I hated them because I've always thought that they didn't care, and they're judging me, and yeah. Lynn, Terry Gaki, I can relate to your workplace situation. I think I had imposter syndrome, as I never felt I did well in my career unless I got praised. Then I worked on my self-worth and mindset change. Okay, fantastic. Mohammed, hello, can you talk about addiction? Yes, I can. Addiction is one of my strong specialisms because I have been addicted myself for 38 years to lots of things, like at a very, very debilitating level. And I came out of it. I'm now teetotal, very healthy, very health conscious and all, and happy and fulfilled. And so what would you like to know about addiction? Tell me more about yourself. Tell me, what sort of addiction are we talking about? But just based on that, I'm going to say something maybe which you may find interesting. Addiction is not a problem. Addiction is a solution to a problem. And so when people have addiction, it's never first because of the thing. It's because we have a propensity for addiction. And so we can get addicted to all sorts of things. Drugs, alcohol, sex, porn, social media. We can get addicted to work, to the gym, to shopping. And so it's never the thing, because some people may try gambling or alcohol and then they don't get addicted. They may enjoy it and think, okay, that was an experience, and now I'm going to do something else. And also some people may shop, but not end up a shopaholic and spending all of their money and end up in debt. And so we don't get addicted because of the thing. We don't get addicted because we're weak either. We get addicted because we have a propensity, because there's something about us that get us to experience that thing like something amazing. For one moment, the first time I have a cigarette or a glass of alcohol or that I gamble, now I'm in a different place. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling at peace for the first time in my life. And so people who get addicted, seriously, they always are because they have a propensity for that. Anxiety, depression, some conditions, again, ADHD, anything like that, bipolar, borderline. When we're addicted, it's because we are always feeling wrong. There's something wrong. And for one time in our life, suddenly, bliss. It's like going from hell to heaven for the first time. And so the experience of whatever is getting to get us addicted is totally different to people who have unhealed trauma or conditions. And it's because of that they get addicted. It's not because they are weak. It's not because of the thing. It's because they have a need to feel better, like we all do. And this is the only one thing that managed to get them to feel better about themselves. And so when we talk about addiction, the way that I look at it, and the way I always explain it, is that addiction is the smoke to a fire. We want to address both the smoke and the fire. What is the fire? Trauma, overwhelm, depression, anxiety. This is what we want to address first and foremost. And after that, once we have removed the need for the addiction, we can address also the addictions, because what we repeat over time reinforces any habit. So it's got to be also addressed. Sometimes, just by addressing the origin of the addiction disappears. But more often than not, it's better to cover both. And so, yeah. What do you think about this? Does that help, Mohammed? Do you want to share more about why you're asking me that question? Is it for you? Is it for someone that you know? I can talk about addiction all day long. I really know so much about it, because I spent so many years, 38 years, struggling with it, and I came out of it. And I help a lot of people come out of it too now. Camilla, thank you, Didi. Please explain more about intuition. When to truly know it's an actual intuition, an exercise, insights are welcome. Okay, so intuition is our direct connection to the universal wisdom. We have three minds: the head, the heart, and the gut. The head is all about cognitive, It's rational, logic. It's about thoughts, pictures, words, concepts. That's the language that the head uses. The heart is your body, and it utilizes the language of emotions, feelings, sensations. And then there's gut. The gut is intuition, it's your intuitive mind. And it just gives you a sense that something is right or not. That's it. If you have a thought about something and it's stringed as a sentence, it's not your intuition. Your intuition is very sharp, it's very precise, it's very short. You know it, you just know. Something is good, something is bad. But if you think, maybe I do that, then it's not your intuition. So there's one thing, one exercise that, no, one way to explain this that I use a lot is that we all understand about intuition because we have all been into those situations when we thought to ourselves, if only I listened to my intuition, and I didn't, and this happened. So we know when there's intuition. So go back to those places and try to remember how it felt. What was your thought process and what happened in your body in that moment? And that will remind you about what intuition feels like. Now, there's something that is very important is that we can only tap into the intuitive mind when that mind is quiet. If we're overthinking, if we're stressed out, if we're anxious, if we have any problems here, if we're overwhelmed, it's going to be very hard to feel the intuition because there'll be so much noise in our head that will cover whatever our intuition is trying to tell us. And so we want to heal whatever we need to heal. And then we want to practice meditation and mindfulness. And then eventually we'll understand more how to tap into that mind that is so useful. Your intuition knows everything. It always knows exactly, precisely what you need to know in this moment, one moment at a time. But a lot of people get confused because they think that their thought is their intuition. They're like, I can't trust my intuition. It told me something the other day and it didn't work. It's because it wasn't your intuition. It's your brain trying to sabotage your intuition because it wants to control everything. And so hitting some limiting belief, some baggage that we may have, and also practicing meditation and mindfulness are going to teach us how to rekindle with our intuitive mind. And not just that, also our emotional mind. It's very important to have emotional intelligence and understand our body, as in understanding how we feel, why we feel like that, what are the meanings, what are the purpose of all of those feelings and emotions, instead of trying to do everything in the head and create problems because of that. So yes, what do you say, Camilla? Does it help? Michelle Kane. A sim victim mindset comes from framing life's negative experiences as personal rather than random experiences to potentially learn from. Yes, absolutely. But it's very important to realize that when people have a victim mindset, they didn't choose it. They're not like, let me choose. Do I want to choose a growth mindset, a creator's mindset, or a victim's mindset? I'm going to choose a victim mindset. We don't choose. We have a victim mindset because, and also some people find it difficult to come out of the victim mindset because they're in a state of survival. They're overwhelmed. They have anxiety, they have fear, they have anger, they have hatred, they have discomfort in their body. Things are very difficult for them. And so they're all over the place. And they can't access that state of peace and mental clarity that will allow them to consider anything but a victim mindset. I hope it makes sense. But you're right. Victim mindset is believing that everything is happening to us, at us, or because of us. Instead of realizing that things are not happening to me, at me, or because of me, and things are not even happening for me either. Things are just happening, and I happen to be there. That's it. And the mindset is going to choose whether I'm deciding to believe that it's happening to me or for me. That's the mindset. I can choose to believe that it's happening for me. And if I believe that, then it will happen for me because then I will learn from that thing and I will grow from that ordeal, from that situation, from that problem, as opposed to suffer from it, believing that I have no power over it and it's going to happen again. Kelly Bruno, blessings. All hope to see you all here again. Take care, Didi. Thank you. Didi, call me Didi. Stop calling me Didi Khan, please, guys. I know it's confusing. I could be Didi Khan. I am Didi. I've been told the other day that in I think Hindi or some Indian languages, Didi means sister. So for so many people. I'm a sister, and I'm happy with that. Didi, please. Sister, there you go. Synchronicity. See, this is how it works. I say sister, and sister comes on my screen. Sister T, well said, at Michelle King. Minuk retracted the message, and there's another one. Minuk, I'm dealing with generalized anxiety disorder, OCD, avoidance, and PTSD. I'm going to therapy. We're working with ACT and ERP, so ACT and ERP. I would love to include body work next to regulate therapy. You're doing a lot of things already. I don't know about ERP and ACT. I'm going to Google it just to ACT therapy and ERP. Okay, so ACT therapy is acceptance and commitment. Okay, yeah, I remember. I didn't know that it was an actual protocol, but that's fair enough. Mindfulness-based behavior therapy. That's fair enough. That's good. And the other one is ERP, exposure and response. Okay, so this is what we do with OCD. It's gradual exposure. We expand the comfort zone, and we learn how to be comfortable with the uncertainty or with chaos. So yes, okay, good. I understand. So great. Do those things. And whatever that you do, I want you to know that you are on a journey. It's not like you're in a state of illness, as in mental illness, and I want to go to a place of mental health. You are which that you are because of XYZ, because of everything that happened to you, and nothing was ever your fault. And you're going to go through a journey to explore your new self. And so don't expect to be anything. Learn what you can learn, expand your mind, try to learn more and understand more about different protocols and tools and exercises that you may try. But you don't need to have everything perfect. You don't need to have all the tools, and you don't want to expect a destination. Healing is a journey, it's not a destination. It's growth, it's development, it's exploring and discovering your potential despite your start in life. Yeah. So that'll be my advice to you. Take it easy, be patient, take it one moment at a time, and don't focus on the outcomes. Instead, focus on the progress. Focus on all those little things that are getting better and better, that are different every day, and that will make it so much easier for you. I know that OCD is a tricky one to address, so I wish you all the best with that. And also, when we have comorbidities, as you do, that makes everything a bit more challenging because there's more things to address. And so I wish you all the best with that. Any question, just ask me. Either today or in the future, as I do more lives in the future. Duku, okay, Didi, thank you, Duku. Miriam Chu, hello everyone, hello Miriam. English teacher, hi, hello. Duku, speaking of addiction, I abuse substances a lot because I feel lost, like I lost the ability to believe in myself and the world. Abusing makes me believe in myself. I let a deeply rooted guard down. Okay, so you want to address your addiction, and as we said, the root cause of the addiction. So you said it yourself, your addiction exists because you have the belief that the world is bad, full of bad people, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's the belief of helplessness and overwhelm. And so if you can address that, and you can remember and remind yourself that it's not true. The world is not in a dire state. The world has some good and some bad. It's always been, and it always will be. Now, there are some places in the world that are really bad. That's true. But there are also a lot of places in the world that no one talks about, where things are fine. There are a lot of good people in the world. There's a lot of kindness. There's a lot of people who are trying to help those who need help. There are a lot of people who are trying to change the world. There are plenty of them. And so, when I look at the state of the world, my first reaction is, it sucks. But then I look at all the people who are trying to change it, to make it better. And I'm thinking, now it's nice. Now I can see humanity in action. I can see evolution. I can see love, kindness, support. I can see a lot of good stuff. And that makes me happy. And so again, it depends on what you look at. So address your own belief and learn how to look at things from a different perspective. And if you can do that, then you may find out that you don't need addiction anymore, because the world as it is okay. You can find a way to look in the right place at the right time, in the right way, and feel better about yourself, about the world, without any drugs. Does it make sense, Duku? Duku, like everything will be okay. Everything will be okay at a global level, but is not promised to each individual. And so, yes, I can only talk about it one case at a time. Sir, sup, I need help. I'm 5'4". I never wanted to let my height affect me. My parents have let me know today how short I actually am, and I feel helpless. Society treats us like shit, and we try 5 times harder than everyone. Okay? Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that you are experiencing this. What I'd like to say to you is that a lot of people who are short are tremendously successful. What you want to do is to look at them. You are suffering your body shape or appearance because you're looking at yourself from the perspective of people who are looking down on you. So you're looking at yourself from the perspective of your parents. Your parents may think, oh, you're too short. And because of that, now you're seeing yourself as too short. And it's just that you have borrowed their way of thinking about you, and you don't have to do this. You can look at yourself from the perspective of someone who has no problem with someone's height. Let me show you. Famous short people. Who do I have? Tom Cruise, Kevin Hart, Daniel Radcliffe, Kendrick Lamar, Mahatma Gandhi, Al Pacino, Bruno Mars, Danny DeVito, Kourtney Kardashian, Mark Wahlberg, Michael J. Fox, Robert Downey Jr., Winston Churchill, Bono, Charlie Chaplin, so many, Lady Gaga, Prince, Robin Williams, Bruce Lee, and the list goes on. A lot of people are short, doesn't matter. I'm thinking even Peter Dinklage is doing wonderfully well in his career. He's inspirational. And so if you can look at yourself from the position of someone who appreciates people for their skills, for their talent, for their uniqueness, rather than just judging them on their height, you can see that you have a lot of things going on for you. But it's up to you to see yourself, to look at yourself from the perspective that is not from the perspective of your parents or your bullies or anyone who talked down on you. Hope it helps. Does it at all, sir? William A. I've been thinking, and also, yeah, I have a lot of friends, people who are of all sizes and shapes, and it makes no difference. There's someone for everyone, even at romantic level. I was thinking about it today for some reason. I was thinking about, there's a French singer called Charles Aznavour, very famous in the 70s, 80s, and he married a top model Swedish woman, super tall. So there's a huge discrepancy, but it doesn't matter. They're happy together, and this is it. There's so many people who can love you and accept you and see your beauty and value you for who you are without caring about your height. And this is what you want to do. Remind yourself of that and learn how to look at yourself from that angle. William A. I've been thinking about my past and how I was raised. My mother and dad were kind to me. They said to me they love and care about me. They did take well of my needs, food, presents, and all that. However, I was a bad student and failed exams all the time. My parents used to raise their voice and made me feel like I'm stupid. I feel bad now because I don't like being around them, but they did treat me well in everything else. Okay, let's talk about this. So this is quite frequent, as in many of us have a different brain and we're not able to do certain things that no typical people can do. So maybe you are on the spectrum of ADHD or autism. Maybe you have some neurodevelopmental disorder. Maybe you have some trauma and you have a trauma brain that prevents you to focus because you're always seeking emotional safety because of whatever happened to you. So because of that, what parents don't know, don't realize, don't understand, because no one teaches them that, is that different people have different abilities, and we must understand how someone's brain works, how your children's brain work, so that you can get them to do the right thing for them. So I, for instance, because of my ADHD, same thing. I've been called stupid, lazy, or whatever. And it's just that my brain, and probably yours, cannot do those things. And it's not your fault. We're different. If we can't do something, it's not because we're not trying hard enough. It's because we just cannot. It's that simple. And so your parents didn't know that, and because of that, they made you feel terrible. They created shame in you. And now you understand at a conceptual level, at an intellectual level, you know that your parents love you and they gave you everything. However, at an emotional level, you feel that they hurt you. And they did. They absolutely did. And so when it comes to dealing with that, we want to find a way to let go of the emotions, let go of the anger, the shame, be angry at them. How dare you? How are you so? Can't you see I did my best? Why are you so horrible? And then once we've done that, we can forgive, we can understand, we can accept. We can come back to a place of now, I see my parents and understand they didn't mean that, it's not their fault. But they have hurt me, and I need to let my emotional mind understand that I'm supporting it. You don't want to repress how you feel. You don't want to think your emotions away. You can't do that anyway. You don't want to think, don't feel bad. They've done their best. You should be grateful. Because when you do that, you are pushing all those emotions down, and emotions are energy. They don't go anywhere. If you don't feel them, if you don't process them, they're going to stay trapped in your body. They're going to develop into something toxic that is going to affect your mental, emotional, and physical health over time. And so your parents did hurt you. They didn't mean that, but they did hurt you. You must acknowledge that. And then you must realize that it was not your fault. You're not stupid. Your brain, for whatever reason, is not able to do this, and you must accept this. And you must realize that also now, whatever that you do, there's something that you can be very good at. There are different types of intelligence. We have been brought up to believe that there's only one type of intelligence that matters, IQ. So it's mathematics or literature kind of intelligence. And we believe that if we don't have this, we can't make it in this world. And still, a lot of people are so fascinated by IQ. But IQ is only one type of intelligence. There's a very famous, I don't know if he was a psychologist, but someone called Howard Gardner who came up with different types of intelligence. And so here are some of the ones that he came up with. Some people have linguistic intelligence. Some people have logical, mathematical intelligence. So this is the classical way we define intelligence. But there's also musical intelligence, body kinesthetic intelligence, which is moving, sport, spatial intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, naturalist intelligence, and so on and so forth. And so we don't need to have one of the first two. We don't need to be good at literature or math. We can do anything else because we're not all going to be scientists or writers or philosoph. There's millions of things in society that we can do, and everyone has different talents. We're all born with a talent, with a form of intelligence that is inherent to us, but it's going to get us to be better at something. I can be better at art. I can be better at organizing stuff. I can be better at doing things with animals or nature. I can be better at whatever. There's so many different ways to belong and impact society positively. And so we want to let go of that idea that whatever form of intelligence from the past is the only one that we can have. And so all of this to say, find out what it is that excites you. Find out what it is that is easy for you, that comes naturally to you, that you would do without any problem. And then there lies your purpose and your thing to do in life. regardless of whatever society says, regardless of whatever people told you all those years. And so I hope it helps. I'm not sure what was the original question, but just based on what I've read, this is what I say. Did that help in any way, or do you want to ask me something more specific? Was it the problem, the fact that you are struggling with your mental abilities, or is it the shame and the guilt that your parents have made you feel, and maybe the the confusion between whether or not you should feel good with your parents or not? And so this is very simple. If that's the case, you think that they've done well, but you don't feel it, and it is the discrepancy that creates problems. And so, yeah, feel, let go of the anger, let go of the resentment, find a way to let it out, and then once you've done that, after a long period of time, then you can reason, you can forgive, you can understand, you can move on, you can reconnect with them. I hope it makes sense. Does it work? Does it make a difference, William? Mac McCarthy, good, more again, so nice to see you again. Thank you. Good morning to you. It's afternoon here in the UK. It's 20 to 6 p.m. Minuk, I recently discovered your channel and your videos are inspirational and soothing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your answer, the safe space you make and reminding me on my journey. Thank you. Minuk. Camila, if you can expand on depression, I mostly struggle with the true horror that surrounds human's history. Most of the time, I can't believe I live on this planet. I make my reality bubble as beautiful as I can, but there's still so much hurt around the world, and somehow I carry the whole world's pain. Help. Okay. So the reason why you feel depressed when you look at the state of the world is because of some belief that you have about it. First, you believe that you are in charge of the world. And number two, you have some unhealed wounds. So when you see suffering, the suffering that you see is reactivating the old wounds that exist inside of you. And now you are feeling those things again. And so I want you to realize that you can work on yourself. You can work on anything that is creating the depression by doing some therapy or meditation, self-introspective work, whatever that you want to do. Go on that journey of self-healing and self-discovery. And realize that if you react to the world, it's only because you have some wounds inside of you that are still there. And when you look at the world, it's reactivating those wounds. Now, is the world in a dire state? Yes, I talked about it just before. But again, you can look in different places. If you look at the history of the world, a lot of horror indeed, but also a lot of beauty, a lot of nice things happened. And so what you see depends on where you want to look at. But also, whatever that you look at will have an effect on you depending on whatever wounds are still left unhealed inside of you. I hope it makes sense. It's like a lot of my colleagues, therapists, they find it very difficult to do their work because we come across all sort of very hard situations, very painful, heartbreaking ones. And many of my colleagues can't move on. After the sessions, they're still thinking about it, they feel terrible. And I always tell them, that's because you haven't healed your own wounds. For instance, I look after people and I feel dreadful when it happens. It's horrible to hear certain stories, it's heartbreaking. However, once it's done and over, I'm back to myself and I'm reminded, now, this is what I've done at work, it's gone. I can come back to my things. I can enjoy the rest of the day. I can do whatever I enjoy doing, chill out, do some meditation, go for a walk, listen to some music, whatever. And I don't need to feel bad. I don't need to feel fear. I don't need to feel hurt. I don't need to feel helplessness anymore because I don't feel helpless anymore. Because I don't have fear anymore. Because I've dealt with all of those things in my own life, in my own healing journey. That's the thing that people don't realize. When therapists are overwhelmed, it's because they haven't addressed their own wounds yet. And so their own wounds is being reactivated every single time they're going to come across some situations that remind them of their own past. And it's going to remind them but they still feel helpless, they still feel scared, they still feel sad. I hope it makes sense. So two things, focus on working yourself, but also look in the right place. This is something that you can do straight away. You talk about the true horror that surrounds human history. It's true, but there's also the true beauty about it. How empowering it is for people to have overcome so many horrors. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. I hope it helps, Camilla. Sir, thanks from across the world. Thank you. Thank you for the little hearts, whoever it is. William, I don't think I have autism, but I definitely have ADHD. Okay. Goku, so true about the different type of intelligence. Also, IQ is an elitist concept. Yeah, yes, there's that as well. Besides the fact that it's reductive to base your worth only on that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I agree. William, it's mostly the confusion. I love them, but I just don't like to be around them. Okay, so you love them intellectually, but you don't love them emotionally. Your heart doesn't feel, I'm excited to see them. I'm so happy when I see them. I feel warm. I want to hug them. And this is the difference. Two minds, the head and the heart. There's a discrepancy. There's a tug of war. And so now, because of a discrepancy, you're going to experience something called cognitive distortion. Your whole self needs to create a system so that you are in harmony, so that your both minds work together. And so now it's going to tell you, even if you feel like shit, it's okay. You should be grateful. You must love them. But it still feels bad. And so you want to address that. Realize that they have hurt you, and at an emotional level, the child inside of you, which is your emotional mind, doesn't feel safe, doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel valued, doesn't feel accepted, doesn't feel supported. Those are our fundamental needs as children and adults. We need to be seen and heard. We need to be accepted and valued for what we are. And we need to feel safe. And we need to be supported, to feel that we are supported in our endeavors, in the things that matter to us. If we don't get that, then it's not love. This is the definition of love. When we have all these things, we feel love as a child. And so whenever you are emotional and you feel bad, in that moment, you're feeling an emotion. In that moment, you are the child once again, just for that moment. And then the next moment, you're going to think, you're going to go from here to there. But no, they're good to me. I should be happy for what I've got. But then the next moment, you're back here. So realize that you have more than two minds, and you need to address both. How? I don't know, because I don't know you. There's a lot of different systems, and it's for you to find out what works for you. Therapy could be one that can help you if it's really, really problematic for you. But the one thing that I would always recommend everyone who don't enjoy the idea of therapy is to learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation. Those are skills that everyone should be doing, and that would change, enhance, elevate anyone's life over time. William, thank you so much. Thank you, William. Peter Guzik, happy to see your channel grow. Thank you, Peter. I'm pretty sure you will get big in the future. Yes, I hope so. That's the aim. I'm doing what I do, and I'm always happy with whatever I get. But I believe that the more I can grow, the more I can reach more people and spread more Didi's love everywhere on this planet. Sorelia, hi. Hi. William, thank you so much. It's really nice having someone here. Your time is really appreciated, honestly. Thank you so much, William. I'm glad you appreciate it. I believe you. I feel that, and I'm so happy with that. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. Anyone wants to ask me anything else? I'm happy to stay another 10 minutes or a little bit more, if you have any questions. Camila, thank you. Have a nice rest of the day. You have been very helpful and I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Guys, if you're going to leave, I need to remind you that if you find this interesting, I'm going to leave that video on my profile on the live section. So if there's anything that you ask me, you can replay the video to retrieve whatever information I may have given you. Okay. I do this both on TikTok and YouTube. I do my best to go live on TikTok twice a week, whenever I can, lunchtime or evening, it depends. It depends on my schedule and my level of energy. And at least one time also on YouTube on Saturdays. At this point in time, I may change this in the future, but at this point in time, Saturday works well for me. So the difference is that on YouTube, if you subscribe, which I would appreciate a lot if you did, then on Saturday morning you can find out at what time I have scheduled the live for. So if you are free, you can join and we can continue the conversation. And also on YouTube, I leave every single videos for anyone to replay. Whereas on TikTok, it doesn't happen like that. So yeah, please guys, follow me both on TikTok and subscribe on YouTube if you find this interesting. And if you know anyone who can benefit from sort of conversation and help and advice, get them involved. I'm going to finally do what I've wanted to do from the start of this year. I'm going to start to resume my production of long-form videos. So I've done some 3 years ago and they're rubbish, they're very cringy. So forget about them, I get rid of them soon. But sometime in September, I will start to regularly put not only short videos, but also long-form content. And so if you have any questions, ask me and I will address those questions in my videos. But also know that there's more things coming. I'm going to spend more time on YouTube, despite me being already overwhelmed with my work and my books and everything that I want to do. But it's okay. That's what I do. And so know that I'm on the social media and I want to bring more stuff. If you have any questions, just ask, follow me. And also, if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my bio to my website. And what we need to do is to organize a free discovery call. Go there, send me an email if you're interested in that. We can organize a little chat just to find out whether we can work together or not. Okay, let me see if there's any last questions. Vedic Sharma said hi. Hello, Vedic. William, I find your right arm interesting. This one? Or that one? Because of my tattoos, I assume. Yeah. I'm a fashion victim. Duku, you rock, man. Thank you kindly. Thank you so much, Duku. William subscribed already. Fantastic. Thank you. Kara Cunningham, I appreciate your content. Keep up the good work. It's very helpful and insightful. Fantastic. Thank you. William, please, I would love to watch some of those long videos. Yes, promised. From September. It's something that I wanted to do from January. So basically it's my New Year resolution. But it's finally coming to fruition 9 months after. But it doesn't matter. I think it's quite important to realize that when you have a resolution like that, like New Year resolution, it doesn't have to happen just in January. It's just basically something that we want to make happen when we're ready for sometime throughout the year. So there you go. This is my New Year resolution in September. William, Jenny Hill, I second that. Okay, thank you. Duku, same. I'd love to see those. Okay, thank you, guys. Sir, can you do group calls? I'm not sure what you mean group calls. I don't do them, but I'm not sure what you mean for what. When it comes to therapy, it's one-to-one because everyone is deeply, vastly, intricately different. And so it's important to really understand people. Now, sometimes what I've done, if you're talking about this, I'm not sure if that was you're talking about, but if you're talking about therapy, I sometimes look after someone, and then after we've done with that person, we move on to someone from the family. So I've done couples, I've done families, I've done parents and kids, but one at a time. Sometime when I know, and I've done many of them, after that we can do some group calls and talk about things, because at that point, everyone is on the same wavelength. They see things from the perspective of the adult, no longer the child, because we clash with one another because we are looking at that person from the position of the child, emotional. But if we could learn how to zoom out and see things from the rational mind's perspective, the adult's mind, now we can understand instead of reacting emotionally. Whenever we react, we're always reacting the way we did when we were a child, whatever we left the child at. And that's why we have problems in relationships. Also, a lot of mental health problems within families and couples. Anyway, Surulia, oh yes, that's great. I definitely have some questions for the long form videos. Okay, put them in the comment section here or there or whatever. I can see them, and I will create a list and I will do those videos. Thank you for the enthusiasm, everyone. It's very kind. Dixie Morrison, Matthew War World Veterans. What does that mean, Matthew World War Veterans? I don't understand. Lynn, totally agree at William. Didi is the most imperfect person we didn't know we needed in our lives. Thank you so much, Lynn. Even when topics of conversation are triggering for me, I feel more confident in my journey. Okay, thank you, Lynn. I'm glad he's doing this to you. Dixie, he's in his 20s, over 100 years old neighbor. Homemade wine into bloodstream. 101 turns 20 homemade wine. I don't know what you're talking about, Dixie. I'm not sure that we are on the same wavelength here. This is a page that I used to talk about mental health, psychology, human behavior, therapy, and things like that. So if you have anything you want to talk to me about those topics, I'd love to, but I'm not sure that this is the case. Jenny Hill, can I ask, if someone isn't very good at being hypnotized, would they be a poor candidate for RTT? Anyone is good to be hypnotized. What we expect because of movies, because of Hollywood, because of television, we expect to be in a state of trance and levitate and forget about everything. And this is not guaranteed. I never get into those states, for instance. But this is not hypnosis for hypnotherapy. When it comes to hypnotherapy, all that we're doing is to get into a state that is so relaxed that we can access some part of our subconscious mind. That's it. So I, for instance, and other people, they may not get into a state of trance. I know that I'm going through a session with one of my colleagues, and I know that I can open my eyes at any time. I'm in London, but it doesn't make any difference because I'm relaxed and I understand the process. And I'm going to surrender to whatever comes into my mind. And this is what hypnosis is. What you need to do is to realize that you get hypnotized all the time anyway. You hypnotize yourself. I talked about it earlier on this live already. And most importantly, it's not what you think it is. And also you want to find someone who can do it well. So there's that as well. I forgot to mention this. Not everyone can deal well with those who are not easily going into a state of trance. We still get hypnotized, but a lot of people, a lot of my colleagues, when they come across someone who can't get into a state of trance, they don't know what to do. They kind of panic, freak out. Whereas I know how to do this because I do it. I'm the same, and also I understand. I have different tricks in my sleeves to deal with people who are resisting more the process of hypnosis because they're overthinking, because they can't surrender, because they've been so traumatized that they're always keeping their guards up and they can't relax. Typically, people who are doing jobs like being in the army or police officers, they find it very difficult to surrender to the process. But this is the thing. What I would tell them is you don't have to be in state of trance. It doesn't matter. You can remember that you're with me doing that thing, and it's okay. And so the moment we realize this, okay, let's do this, and it works. And so yes, it's about finding the right practitioner. Find someone, if you want to do RTT, that has experience into dealing with people who are not able to easily get into the state of trance. Jenny Hill, can one become good at being hypnotized? Yes. So after we've done one session, after that, people surrender more, and it's possible if we do more than one session that by the end, people do end up in a state of trance. It's the beginning. We need to create a rapport. We need to understand what we're doing, and we need to also work together. So the person needs to trust the therapist. the choice of therapist is very, very important. It's not just about the tool, it's about the person that's going to use it. RTT is just a tool, just like EMDR or whatever else. And so it's not the tool. This is what I always say. It's not just, it's not the scalpel, it's the surgeon. It's not the Stradivarius, it's the violinist, and so forth and so on. Dixie Morrison, Matthew, Wolfman, Dixie, I'm going to skip your comments because I'm not sure that we are sharing the same reality right now. I'm not sure that there's any point in me reading your comments. Jenny Hill, yes, overthinking and difficult jobs. Okay, Jenny Hill, thank you. You're welcome, Jenny. Lynn, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. I'm going to indulge in my love of Formula One. Okay, something different. Guys, I think it's time for me to go as well. Lynn, I wish you great fun with your F1. Jenny and everyone else who were here, and whether you intervened and spoke to me or not, I thank you for being here. I will be back for sure next week on YouTube on Saturday, sometime on Saturday, and also sometime on TikTok if you use TikTok as well. So please follow me on both platforms. I wish you all the best. If you have any question, ask me. Bring people, gather them, so we can share some more information and good vibes. And that's it. My last sentence is always this, and I know it sounds very Jerry Springer. This is what my husband told me one day watching one of my replay. But remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. And I mean this. By being kind to yourself, I mean let go of shame. Let me read the last comments before I say goodbye. Selena, appreciate you. Thank you, Selena. Sorulia, bye. Didi, good to see you. Thank you so much. Jenny Hill, thank you, thank you. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Camilla, take care, everyone. Serving my Redeemer, blessings. Sensei, Didikan, thank you. And Dooku, looking forward to your lives. Good health. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Take care. And remember, be kind to yourself. Bye-bye. Oops. Let's try again. Bye.